Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mutahi Ngunyi has been conducting an opinion poll on his official Twitter handle. And the results of those opinion polls have been consistent. Raila Odinga has been gaining ground steadily, while the deputy president is also consistently losing. Let me share with you his last two opinion polls. Let us begin with the one he conducted in November. In November, according to the feedback, in this case, 46,000 people voted. Raila Odinga had 36% in November. William Ruto had 50%. Then Musalia Mudavadi had 4%. There were 10% undecided. That was on 3rd of November. Then he conducted another one yesterday. And I grabbed the screenshot 2 hours before it could end. 74,000 people had already cast their votes. Raila Odinga had 41%. Mark that. In November, Raila Odinga had 36%, which means Raila Odinga has actually gained 5%. William Ruto has 45%. In November, William Ruto had 50%, which means Ruto has actually lost 5%. The undecided is now 11%. In the previous one, the undecided were 10%. And then there is the OKA, One Kenya Alliance, which is 3% in December. In November, there was no OKA, there was Musalia Mudavadi, who was at 4%. Now, those are the figures. For those who love statistics, sometimes statistics don't lie. But personally, I don't trust certain opinion polls. But at least this one, you are sure that there can't be rigging. It only that it can go in favor of the person Mutahi Ngunyi is supporting. Like, for example, if you run an opinion poll on William Ruto's page, chances of Ruto winning is high. If you run an opinion poll on Raila Odinga's page, chances of Raila Odinga's winning is high. But Mutahi Ngunyi was in Jubilee, and now he supports, he was supporting Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017, but now he's supporting Raila Odinga. So I don't know whether that can also contribute. But there's a pattern there. William Ruto is constantly losing. Raila Odinga is gaining the ground. Why do you think Raila Odinga is gaining the ground? And why do you think William Ruto is losing the ground based on the opinion polls by Mutahi Ngunyi? Raila Odinga is gaining the ground because any gain by Raila Odinga is actually a loss for the DP. Raila Odinga is gaining the ground specifically for two reasons. Number one is the endorsement by President Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, President Uhuru Kenyatta endorsing Raila Odinga is adding what I normally refer to as perceptual value. So Raila Odinga supporters, as we speak today, are very tired. They are fatigued. They believe they've done everything, and therefore there's no need of voting unless they are assured that the state or the deep state is going to support Raila Odinga. President Uhuru Kenyatta endorsement of Raila Odinga actually re-energized his base. So those who would not have bothered about voting are now planning to vote. So that can explain why Raila Odinga is gaining. The second reason why he's gaining, and this is the major factor, is basically the Mount Kenya region. Let me ask you today. I want you to just rate Raila Odinga. Assuming elections were held today in Mount Kenya region, pitting William Ruto and Raila Odinga, what percentage can you give Raila Odinga? In the past 4 elections, 3, that is 2007, 2013, and 2017, Raila Odinga's figures from the larger Mount Kenya region has never gone beyond 3%. But if elections were to be held today, Raila Odinga is staring at 30%, 40%, or it cannot go beyond 25%, which means he's gaining ground there. And any gain Raila Odinga is making in the larger Mount Kenya region is basically affecting the deputy president. When Mutahi Ngunyi started his opinion poll, Raila Odinga was at 20-something%. Right? But why is Raila Odinga gaining? Why do you think Raila Odinga is gaining? Because at some point it was claimed that selling Raila Odinga in the larger Mount Kenya region was not going to be possible. In fact, politicians were not willing to associate with Raila Odinga. But currently we are seeing politicians from the larger Mount Kenya region willingly supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. Why do you think Raila Odinga is gaining? In my view, Raila Odinga is gaining because of the following reasons. And by the way, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And again, because we are going for Christmas, I just want to take this opportunity for those who are traveling. I want to ask for journey mercies. And if you reach home, please greet those people on my behalf. Just tell them to subscribe to this channel. Subscribers, I'm very grateful for your support. The support has been so amazing this year. In fact, I've never received such kind of support in my entire life from even my family. So your support has been amazing. When my dad passed on, your support was amazing. So giving this particular video just thumbs up is not a big deal. Please give this one thumbs up. Why do you think Raila Odinga is gaining? Or what strategies do you think Raila Odinga used to outweight or to outmaneuver William Ruto in the larger Mount Kenya region? Let's not confuse things. If elections were to be held today in the larger Mount Kenya region, William Ruto will still emerge the winner. But he can't get 95%. He can't get 90%. He can't get 85%. Maybe 80%. Which means if you were to get 80, Raila 20, Raila should have gained. Why do you think Raila Odinga is gaining when it was believed that there was no way he was going to make inroads in the larger Mount Kenya region? 5 reasons only. The first reason why Raila Odinga is actually gaining is what I call the underdog tag. Raila Odinga went into the larger Mount Kenya region knowing so well that he was going to lose nothing. He was at 2%. He had the handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto had entrenched himself right inside there. So he went there knowing so well that there was nothing he was going to lose. The only thing he was going to do is probably to win. And William Ruto and his allies also committed a mistake. They started treating Raila Odinga as an underdog. That's the biggest problem. When someone is an underdog, he's going to lose nothing. So it means he can easily go there. You chase him, you abuse him, you throw him away, but he will be persistent. That underdog tag is what has helped Raila Odinga, because he was going there as an underdog, these guys without knowing that kumbe these guys had silent supporters. The truth of the matter is that someone like Raila Odinga had supporters in the larger Mount Kenya region. Some of them did not vote for him. Why? Because President Uhuru Kenyatta was on the ballot. Some of them did not vote for him, but are now willing to vote for him because they don't like Ruto. But William Ruto and his allies forgot. They just saw Raila Odinga as an underdog. So they treated him casually until it now dawned on them that this guy was making progress. So the underdog tag has actually worked for him. Number 2, the second thing which has worked in favor of Raila Odinga is the handshake. You know, I've always told people face to face when I meet them, because most people believe that the handshake has actually destroyed Raila Odinga's politics. It depends with how you look at it. But if you analyze the handshake in details, probably I need to do a video on this. If you analyze how the handshake has helped Raila Odinga and how it has destroyed him, then the gains are more. Number 1, without this handshake, for example, where would Raila Odinga be today? Most, even his governors, some of them, would now be with Ruto, assuming Ruto had the state machinery. You see, currently it's giving these people a problem, but without state machinery. Assuming what we are seeing now is Ruto, and then you give him the state machinery to deal with Raila Odinga. That guy would have crushed Raila Odinga a long time ago. That's the truth. The handshake also made it possible for Raila Odinga to go to central Kenya without any problem. You know, these are people who voted for Uhuru Kenyatta to the last man. And Uhuru Kenyatta had the handshake. Despite the fact that they hated Raila Odinga, the fact that Uhuru now had the handshake with this guy actually toned them down. So it meant that Raila Odinga was now able to go to the larger Mount Kenya region, talk to them, and would get audience. It meant that there are people who are loyal to Uhuru Kenyatta, who are now willing to listen to Raila Odinga, who are now willing to go and sell Raila Odinga out there. It was difficult for them, but now we are hearing people like Sabina Chege stating clearly that they no longer fear associating with Raila Odinga. You see people like Kanini Kega going outside there to campaign for Raila Odinga. Why? Because of the handshake. That handshake is what has saved Raila Odinga. Because in the larger Mount Kenya region, as much as you can claim that Raila Odinga lost ground in Coast, he lost ground in other regions, the truth is that without the handshake, Raila Odinga would not have made any inroads in the larger Mount Kenya region. And any gain is making there is a loss for the DP. And that's why you see the DP trying so hard to follow Raila Odinga. Anytime Raila Odinga is in the central Kenya, he's escalating also his activities. That handshake. Number 3 is the collaboration with the governors. You can say, or you can look at it from whichever perspective, that the governors are corrupt and the government was targeting them. And that's why they're supporting Raila Odinga. Nyeri governor is not supporting Raila Odinga. Nothing is being done to him. The Nandi governor, for example, is not supporting Raila Odinga. Nothing is being done to him. What's so special? The truth of the matter is that the deputy president focused so much on members of parliament. And most of these members of parliament ended up disrespecting their governors. And the deputy president also committed the mistake of sponsoring candidates against some of the governors. You go to Nakuru, he has a candidate there. You go to, for example, Mombasa, he has a candidate. You go to Kilifi, he has a candidate. So because he had candidates, most of these governors then decided to work with Raila Odinga, because the enemy of your enemy becomes your friend. And when Raila Odinga started working with the governors brought on board something which he lacked: structures. You see, like a governor for Embu, for example, or a governor for Meru, for example, for that matter, has structures running up to the ground from ward admin. Some even have, like Kisumu County has village admins. So it's very easy for Raila Odinga to penetrate using those structures, which most of members of parliament, the deputy president was relying on, lacked. And because of that, Raila Odinga was able to go to the ground. He was able to sell his policies. The voters in those grounds were able to actually buy whatever he was selling. So that now, when Raila Odinga was sold as a devil, these guys were now able to listen to him, and then they realized he's not a devil. When Raila Odinga was viewed as not a human being, Raila Odinga was able to go there, listen to them, then things like those. So the governors provided the platform. Number 4, in my view, is direct engagement. At some point, there were even claims that the deep state, there are some elements within the deep state who are actually frustrating Raila Odinga's moves and plans for the larger Mount Kenya regions, that they had a candidate. At some point, Raila Odinga decided to just start going alone. So the first joint was in where Mwaura kicked him out, Githurai. He went there. He was chased. He was persistent. People started listening to him. He went directly. Raila Odinga started going, meeting with the elders. Elders started listening to him. Raila Odinga started inviting the youth from the mountain to his Capitol Hill office. They started listening to them. They started selling his policies. Raila Odinga started going there, attending birthdays, attending funerals, and explaining his policies to the people. So those direct engagement by Raila Odinga, in my view, is what propelled Raila Amolo Odinga to where he is today in the larger Mount Kenya region. If you had waited and depended on the support of President Uhuru Kenyatta, probably you would not have managed to come at the right time. Because you see, right now, Raila Odinga is, let's say, it's at even 25% or even 30%. The moment President Uhuru Kenyatta will hit the ground, because Munya has actually revealed that the president is going to hit the ground hard. And I also have very credible information that in January, the president is going to start decampaigning his deputy in the larger Mount Kenya region. So if Raila Odinga had waited, then probably the DP would have cemented his stronghold, his hold on the region. So the fact is, the direct engagement has paid off for Raila Amolo Odinga. And lastly, the other thing which has helped Raila Odinga is that Raila Odinga has been called all sorts of names by William Ruto's allies. But Raila Odinga has focused on his messaging. Messaging. In most cases, if you listen to William Ruto and his brigades campaigning in the larger Mount Kenya region, they don't have any agenda. The agenda is always Raila Amolo Odinga, Mganga, calling him all sorts of names. So they exhausted everything against Raila. So Raila Odinga was now able to focus on his message. You know, when Raila Odinga talk of history, most people think he's a fool. Raila Odinga is not a fool to tell the people of the larger Mount Kenya region about the history. The reason Uhuru, for example, is being viewed as a bad man is because of what? The story of dynasty. That the father neglected the Mau Mau. So the history which Raila Odinga has been telling most of the people there is the history about Mau Mau, the people who fought for independence, people who made great things happen in the larger Mount Kenya region. You might not like it, but the fact is those people came from, they were very powerful, they are supporters. So most of those descendants of those people, the Mau Mau warriors, their descendants who are opposed to the president, are able to listen to Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's how, for example, he's been able to win the heart of J.M. Kariku's mother. No, of Dinan Kimath's wife. You know, he's been focusing on his message. How he endorsed Kibaki, why he entered into the handshake with the president, how without the handshake, the economy of the country would have been affected. So Raila Odinga has been focusing on his message. I don't know what you think, but because of those strategies, Raila Odinga is gaining in the larger Mount Kenya region. So let us wait and see what's going to happen in January when the president will now hit the ground running. And I can assure you, Uhuru Kenyatta is not just a politician. Very smart, very shrewd. His actions and moves are normally well calculated. It's not the first time I'm saying this on this platform. This Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are totally different. Raila Odinga makes a lot of errors, just like Ruto. But Uhuru Kenyatta sometimes appears to be weak. Sometimes he appears to be someone who can't take actions. But Uhuru Kenyatta's actions are always well-timed and with great impacts. Let us wait and see how things are going to unfold next year. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.